Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the week in review. Gonna be honest, I did not see Raw this week. I did watch clips, so I know like the main stuff from Raw this week. I will say, I think again, like NXT was my favorite show this week. SmackDown was okay. I'll tell you what SmackDown taught me is all the complaints that we had about like WWE pet project babyface Roman. I feel like you could transplant those complaints onto Cody now as champion and not miss a beat, in my opinion, because I will credit, Cody is still seemingly over with crowds and stuff. I don't want to be hyperbolic about it. We know Roman was getting boos. I think Cody occasionally gets like pockets of boos in WWE crowds, but it just feels very contrived with him. But man, him sharing that ring with Roman tonight, Friday night, excuse me, the contrast was night and day. So that was a big thing for SmackDown for me, was just all the Cody Roman interaction and like, man, this guy is here. And this guy, even though he's the world champion, just seems so far away from him. Just unbelievable. But yeah, I think NXT was my show this week. Partner, before we get into the meat and potatoes of it all, how'd you feel about this week in the world of wrestling? I haven't asked you
Yeah,
that in a while.
yeah. I thought I wasn't By the way, everyone, you're gonna notice that I have a really strange like lisp going on. That's because I have a weird wing going on in my teeth right now, and I have gauze and a whole thing with my dental procedure that I had yesterday. So yeah, I am gonna have some weird, speaking issues, but I'm gonna soldier on, and we're gonna get this done anyway. So that out of the way, yeah. I thought the SmackDown was better this week than usual, and that probably does have a lot to do with just the fact that we had Roman on at all. Um, NXT, I remember liking this week quite a bit, and I actually feel like I remember liking Raw a little bit this week too. I feel like I had relatively positive feelings about all three WWE shows this week, so that's probably always nice.
Given your procedure, I think, rather than just like asking you questions specifically, I'll first check in if this is a topic that you want to talk about. And then if it's a yes, I might have a question. If not, I'll just let you go off. So let's begin with Raw. Open with the street fight, actually. I saw a highlight video of this. It seemed like these guys put in the work. And once again, can I say, I love you, Chad Gable. I don't know how many other ways to say it.
Yeah, they opened the
Yeah.
show with the 4-on-4 street fight, which was fantastic. I mean, I will say, as much as I did like open by saying that I thought Raw was solid, it peaked with the opening segment. The first match of the show was the best thing to happen on the show, I think.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Just again from what I saw and everything, I mean, the energy of this seemed insane. And again, like really, not even just Chad. I want to give credit to everybody. Everybody really seemed to get their moment to shine here.
Hmm.
But I mean, I single out Chad because the way this dude bumps and tells people he took a German from Nikki Cross, Sister Abigail, and like he made it look good. This dude, I'm telling you, give him a mid card title run at some point. Give him something at some point. Jesus Christ! Like honestly, at this rate, if you would want Chad to go back down to NXT and get an NXT championship run like you gave Ziggler a few years back, would anybody complain? I wouldn't.
That'd be pretty
I'd be
dope.
curious
Yeah,
who the
that'd be
fuck he'd
cool.
put over for that shit. Like he is, yeah, like he's just so good right now. And really not even just right now. He's been so good. And yeah, I am just immensely impressed with Chad. I think he's an incredible competitor. He's an incredible just performer industry wise. I thought he was always a good talker too, but as a heel, he has a direct line to my funny bone with how he can like ham it up and stuff and really chew up the scenery. An American made as a fact, Ivy Nile solid. I don't really know if as a singles competitor she's anything promising, but you get her in a big hodgepodge, and I think she's good there. And then the Creeds, I mean, they're just fantastic. They're just a couple of hosses. It's really
Hmm.
just a matter of getting them as refined as possible
Yep.
and getting them ready. And the Wyatt Six, I love WWE's mindset that we read internally going into this gimmick. They're not ghosts. You can't wrestle a ghost. How do you beat a ghost? They're just very motivated people with a high tolerance for pain and weird factor. And it works. I think this was an angle where even though American Made did not win a single matchup, I still think they got over with this angle because the matches were always hot. The crowd always popped for Wyatt Six. So, they're staying over. And yeah, I mean, given that you kind of led the discussion, I'm not going to be tentative in asking you because again, I do want to be mindful of your procedure and everything. What do you think is next for Wyatt Six, man? Because this program now, I would think is over. I don't see how you go beyond a street fight with like everybody involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, do you have any idea of what might be next for them, or anything you would like to see be next for them?
that's a good question. Um, Part of me does hope that this is not over, but
Ah,
it probably is. I'm not, I'm not saying that because I expect it to continue. I'm more just saying it because I enjoy the work that they've done so much that I don't necessarily want it to be over, but I do kind of expect it to be over. I do kind of feel like it's probably over. Everyone else seems to think that it's over, so it's probably just safe to kind of assume wisdom of the crowds is right in this case. Um, but yeah, as far as the Wyatts, I don't know for sure. I mean, I'm kind of trying to figure out both sides here. Like, what are the Wyatts going to do next, and what is American Made going to do next? Maybe tag titles for the Creeds, maybe. Um, I forget? I feel like we saw Nikki Cross do something really notable, and I'm just completely forgetting about it.
I did mention earlier that she did a German suplex to Chad at one point, which kind of blew my
Yeah, that
mind that they
that
did
was
that
a
kind of intervention.
huge pop for sure. That was awesome. Yeah, that might just be what it was. Uh, did Ivy do anything to any men?
Not that I'm aware of. If anything, she might have done like a jumping up on the back spot and like kind of doing the whole choke thing, but
Right,
that would be it. I didn't hear or see anything like on that front.
right. Okay. Yeah, so I'm wondering maybe like tag titles for the Creeds, but then I really don't know where the actual Wyatt Six faction goes from here. Maybe like, see, it wouldn't really work with Damage Control because they're face now, so like you're not gonna go after a babyface faction. Yeah, man, it's. What do you think? I want to know what you think.
I it's so weird to book the Wyatt Six in any kind of a thing because I don't think any of them their gimmicks don't suit pursuing championships. Because like even Undertaker and Kane, you can make the argument, well, they're monsters and they want to destroy. Or Undertaker in his later years, I love the excuse that he used, like, oh, this is a lure to draw in souls for me to take. So really the souls were the prize, not the championship. But this isn't like it's got supernatural elements, but they're still very much embodied people. And it seems like as baby faces, their whole quest is to right the wrongs of abusive families, abusive dynamics, people that aren't living honestly. They
Yeah,
say they're one thing, but they're portraying themselves in another thing. And so
maybe
obviously,
Judgment Day.
maybe Judgment Day, maybe.
That would make a
I've been
lot of
yeah.
sense actually. Rhea beats Liv for the women's title. Priest beats Balor, and we just kind of have a clean split there where they both just kind of move on, and then the Wyatts come in and they kind of aim to punish the Judgment Day for what they did
Yeah.
because it's a clean 5-on-5 at that point. Because you've got four men and a woman versus four men and a woman. It's almost like it was designed for that. Maybe even like a War Games match.
Yeah, war games would be cool for sure.
We've
I don't
never
know how
had an
you yeah.
intergender War Games before, I don't think.
I don't think we
So
have.
that could be a first time ever thing that they do.
Yeah, definitely. I think Judgment Day is a very sound call. Um, yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Because yeah, again, I really I don't see Uncle Howdy as a guy that'll ever be interested in the world title. And if he ever does get interested, that to me would necessitate a change in character or a change in character motivation that they would have to write in, which I'm not
Right.
against. I think characters should evolve. Peter, fucking Pete Dunass. But it would just have to be written in and written well. So yeah, I like that idea. I like the idea that Judgment Day could be next. So yeah, really fun matchup. Everybody put in the work. Proud of everybody. Next thing to talk about on Raw, unless it's just something we're skipping. Balor and Priest kind of have a segment.
Mhm.
It devolves into them being attacked. And Judgment Day do get the one up on the Terror Twins. I'm still hoping that Rhea and Liv will be a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. I'm starting to worry though that it won't be,
I don't
and
think it's going to be because we have an official announcement already that Drew and Punk will be, and I'm wondering if we're even going to get another Hell in a Cell match on that show. If there is another one, it absolutely should be Liv and Rhea, but the lack of an announcement already, like it's like the longer we go without it being made official, the more I think it's not happening.
that's such a shame because look, we've had our complaints about Punk and Drew, and the feud has definitely had its good moments. But to me, when you look at the story of Rhea Liv, how they injured each other, the title going, first from Rhea in her dominant reign, which she never even formally got beat to end her reign. Again, she had to relinquish because Liv injured her. Then Liv wins it, courtesy of Dom, Rhea's, little subby Latino heat, betraying her. Like there is so many dynamics more than Drew and Punk to me. Plus, the match quality's just been better because they were cooking at SummerSlam until they had to do the angle, right? And then that kind of took away from the in ring, which I don't mind. But I mean, you're talking inside the cell. I think those two. I'm even gonna say it, and I don't want to like offend any Sasha Banks fans or Becky fans or whatever. I think they could have the best women's Hell in a Cell match ever. Liv and Rhea. I think they have that potential, and the idea that they may not even get a chance to prove it really bums me the fuck out. Because Drew Punk, I mean, Punk is he's like what, 47 years old? Like Jesus Christ,
Something
and
like
Drew's
that.
like what, yeah, 40 or something. But I mean, at least
Punk's
Drew's conditioned.
45.
Punk's 45, yeah.
I
And
think
like,
Drew's like 37.
yeah, but
Oh
like
shit, Drew's
Punk's
older than I thought. He's 39. Wow.
but yeah, like Punk is like a sour milk 45. That's the thing. Like
Right,
his
yeah, because
conditioning
he's
fucking
definitely
sucks.
like injury prone and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I fuck him. Fuck him and fuck him getting this fucking stip. I really feel like Liv and Rhea and fans of both women and fans of their program are really getting cheated here. This is just another standard matchup because why wouldn't Judgment Day then just run interference?
Yeah.
The cell, because I will give SmackDown credit to this too, and I don't want to cross streams too hard, but like they really did just a straight up steel cage match. Like Bloodline didn't get involved until after. So if Triple H wants to rehabilitate the concept of cage matches in Hell in a Cell without like overbooking shenanigans and like, no, if we're putting this up, that means to keep the interference out, then like, yeah, they should definitely do his own in this match because one woman is, I don't know, packing an entire faction with her. So I'm just getting this rant out just in case it doesn't get Hell in a Cell. If it does, obviously I'll redact, but I don't know. Given that you already said it's going to Drew Punk, and I saw that too, I'm not optimistic. But yeah, they do a beat down. Terror Twins get taken out again. Bianca and Jade retain against Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Please do something else with these two. I don't know what else you do because I'm not really fond of either of them, but this whole tag team thing kind of ran its course for me. Then we get Bret Hart's segment with Gunther and Sammy. I really like this, man. Bret was kept very minimal. Really, I think his presence was what was needed. Like, oh my God, it's Bret Hart kind of thing. I thought Gunther did great. Dude, Gunther's troll where he said like his absolute favorite wrestler is Bill Goldberg to Bret's face. Oh my God. And you can even tell Gunther, I think, was trying to fight not corpsing. Because it's like, man, I can't believe I just said that to Bret fucking Hart of all people.
Yeah, that was funny
Um,
as fuck.
and then Sammy had great babyface fire and kind of clapping back against Gunther and saying, like, oh, you want to criticize Bret? And yet Bret was never a coward. He never ducked a challenge. And yet you won't agree to face me for the world title. And then, Gunther kind of doubles down, like, you're damn right, you're not getting a shot at my title. And then he walks off, and then Bret's like, "Oh, well, that's a yellow-bellied coward," and then he called him like a coward over and over.
Dude, the way that Brett went off on Gunther here made me giggle so hard. It was so funny.
Yeah, so imagine like an old man trolling an edgy teenager. That's kind of
It
how it
really
came off.
is. This guy, yellow. I love, yeah, like the yellow belly coward comment is what popped me the hardest. What an old geezer,
Definitely channeling his inner Clint Eastwood there.
dude. I
Uh,
was I was thinking John Wayne, yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah. But no, I think given the crowd they were in front of, because it was Canada and everything, I thought it played off very well. I thought they kept Brett to a minimal role, and really, I like that because the real babyface star here was who it should have been, and that's Sammy.
Hmm.
And I gotta say, I don't know if I like Gunther being intimidated by people so soon into his reign, which is why I didn't want us to do Sammy until later. But I understand why he's not very eager to get back in the ring with Sammy because the last time it happened, his historic IC title reign ended. So at least there's psychology, on a human level, not in ring psychology. There's human psychology here that's sensible. Sammy is a credible, fiery babyface challenger. We've wanted him in the main event scene for so long. I
Hmm.
don't know if he'll ever get a proper world title reign. I sure as shit don't think it's going to happen here, unfortunately, which is again why I wanted this feud to happen later. But I actually think Gunther and Sammy 2 could surpass Gunther Sammy 1 because, I didn't care for the first one mainly because I just felt like, I don't know, they had to just change Gunther as a character a little bit to fit the whole brainbuster spot. And it's like, I've never seen the guy play with his food and, all this stuff. So hopefully the second one, it's just Gunther being true to himself, Sammy being true to himself, and we have a fucking classic. That's what I'm hoping for. After that, we get Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio wins. So again, Judgment Day getting all that momentum. Um, Sky Pirates kind of have an interaction with Jade and Cargill saying, like, look, or excuse me, Jade and Bianca. And they say, don't get used to those tag titles. And yeah, I wish I could believe you guys because I love you both so much. But you guys got pinned for Unholy Union to even get their rematch in the first place. So a little difficult of a sell there. Natalia, Lyra, and Zelina get the win here
Oh
over Pure
God,
Future Collective.
Natalia. Ugh.
We knew it was gonna be her, bro. We knew it was gonna be fucking her.
I hate
Um,
that NXT gave me hope.
yeah, yeah. God damn it. All right. Then we get Drew's talking segment. Not really much to say here. He calls out Wade, I guess just to really make sure everybody knows, like, psst, Drew's the heel,
Yeah.
calling out the one guy that's really been helping him. I personally didn't like that because I like this kind of new age of writing we seemingly have where there is nuance, where, hey, I may be a dick, but even I have my allies that I'm good to. Like, I'd like to see that would be a fascinating heel to see, actually. Somebody that's a heel, but maybe even is friends with at least one babyface or something. That'd be a weird dynamic to me. I'd like that. I'm telling you, I like.
Bloodline Jay Uso.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. And look how much we love that character. So
Hmm.
yeah, just something to think about. You didn't have to have Drew bite the head off of the one guy that's really been looking out for his interests from the get go. Like, be serious. Uh, Ray and Finn have a matchup that ends in a DQ. For Finn. And so there you go. And then we get the Intercontinental Championship Tournament Finals. Jay Uso wins the Fatal 4-Way, pinning Pete Dunne after a splash. I actually did watch the final few minutes of this matchup. And then Braun and Jay kind of have a stare down. I think that should be a really fun matchup. I think Jay has done great work. I do want to see him get his reward one day. But honestly, and now I can even triple down on this if I'm honest. Given that they're getting Sammy out of the way already, I would really like Jay to be the one they wait for, and when Jay gets in the ring with Gunther, he beats Gunther for the world title.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, that would be dope. Because I don't think it's going to be Drew. Unfortunately, I have no idea what they're going to do with him post Punk. Maybe he'll even take time off. That'd be nice. Give us a chance to miss you, and then you come back and you wreck shop. But yeah, I think this should be a fun match regardless. This is a great first real opponent for Braun post Sammy, and we'll have to see how that goes. Going in chronological order, NXT here, because we usually talk about AEW after all the WWE stuff, if there's anything to talk about with
Hooray.
AEW. Street Profits versus the fucking Dweebs, Axiom and Frazier for the NXT tag titles, because Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, they got taken out by Wesley. Wesley later gets on a headset and says at what's gonna be the show next week or like at the next PLE for NXT, he wants to do a street
The
fight with
CW
Zach.
show?
Yeah, October 1st. That's right. October 1st. He wants to do a street fight with Zach. So cool, Wes. So you're still gonna be heel. That's cool. Uh so yeah, tag match ends with disqualification because the bloodline, Timu bloodline, fucking get involved and wreck shop. I only care about Jacob Fatu in this faction. And you know what? It seems that WWE is the same way because they're giving him all the star making moments.
Yeah.
They're like, listen, you guys are here for the paycheck and you do solid tag stuff. You fucking stallion. You have a future. Really? Yeah. Yeah. Um, Julia versus Chelsea Green. I okay, so I know in the Discord you said that you felt like this match went on a little too long
Yeah.
for your taste because you felt like Julia's supposed to be this killer next challenger. I gotta tell you what though, man, like I didn't mind that the match went on this long because, first of all, Chelsea, for all intents and purposes, she's a two-time women's tag team champion and she's a main roster competitor, even if she is still Chelsea. Like, I understand that. And second of all, like, I just think it was a good introduction to Julia for people, like the breadth of her offense and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And really, yes, she's a killer and yes, she's competent, but like in the ring, so is Roxanne when the bell rings. And I like the idea that, maybe it's not going to be so easy for Julia to just take the title. I don't want it to be easy. I want it to be a true clash. So I like this matchup, but I wanted to go deeper into your thoughts
Oh
about the
yeah,
match.
no, to be fair, I liked the match too. I thought it was a solid
Yeah.
match. And also to be clear, I didn't necessarily want the match to be like a 2 minute squash or exhibition either. Like
Yeah.
I just thought it went on maybe like a few minutes too long. I think actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull up.
Foster
Um,
said he looked it up and Julia Chelsea wasn't even 8 minutes, he said.
I want to just get confirmation of that. Okay, it went 6:54.
Yeah.
So I guess I was looking for something under 5.
And you know what? That's fair. That's fair. I just yeah. I
Because
like yeah.
really, I think what it comes down to is in NXT specifically. Let me actually look up and see how long Chelsea's challenge of Roxanne was, because she had a match against Roxanne, right?
Yes.
Okay, that went 8:55. So Julia did beat Chelsea faster than Roxanne, and I do like that. I like that detail. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but whether it was or not, I like it.
Okay,
There was
nice.
just kind of a point in the match where it started to kind of feel like one of those like AEW matches where they have this hot new talent and they put the hot new talent up against like a mid carder that nobody expects to ever win anything major in their career in AEW, and they
Yeah.
take them to the limit, and that pisses me off. And I just don't want NXT to feel like AEW, and it kind of started to a little bit by the end of that match.
Well, they're already taking AEW's table scraps, so you
Yeah,
gotta be
believe
careful.
me, I really don't want Daniel Garcia in NXT either.
Yeah. You know what's funny? On SmackDown, they did that bait and switch with that Ricky guy coming out, and then of course Randy Orton was Kevin Owens' actual partner. If it
Yeah.
was AEW, Ricky would have gotten to compete, and he probably would have gotten the winning pinfall or some shit. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Speaking of
So
Ricky, I mean, I know I said that I don't want Daniel Garcia, but I will take Ricky Starks, please.
Ricky Starks could work. I like Ricky Starks, man. Ricky Starks is one of the few AEW people that could cross over that I'd be like, you know what, good for you, kid. Because like I really think WWE would know how to use you better than AEW, unironically.
Exactly. Yep.
So yeah, Ricky, especially if you keep doing the thing with the face that I love because I'm a
You
child
got
and
to
it
do the
pops me.
face thing.
Yeah, the face thing. Oh, we gotta talk about my favorite thing on NXT though. Actually, wait. Let me not get ahead of myself here. Trick did an interview, great interview. I love like how Trick's babyface, and I'm sure he's gonna evolve and shed layers over the years, but right now he's just very humble but like confident because he admits never been in a last man standing match before. But he said it's not gonna stop me from getting my NXT title back. He promotes October 1st. Very simple babyface promo that promotes the upcoming show, but also again shows that fire, but that vulnerability and that humility. I like it, Trick. I like it. After that, Jordan Grace talks about the history of the Knockouts title. Great for Jordan. Whatever criticisms I might have of TNA, especially now with the release of like Scott D'Amore and that whole internal strife and stuff, just when I thought the product might be getting good again. And
Yeah.
now you have Nick Nemeth as your champion, and it's again not even once. Um, the Knockouts title does have a rich history. I remember those Gail Kim Awesome Kong matches. And yeah, it's Jordan's a beast. She's amazing. So really cool for her to be able to put it over. But one of my favorite parts of the fucking show, god damn, Heritage Cup. This Heritage Cup is growing on me, all. I can't lie to you. I at
Yep.
first I was like, it's such a weird concept. I think I hate it, but it's like green eggs and ham, baby. Once you actually try it and give yourself to it, you're like, damn, I'm still worried about salmonella, but shit ain't that bad. And
I'm gonna be
it's
real, man. I still don't love the concept of the Heritage Cup because to me, all of these matches would still probably be better matches if they got a similar amount of time and were just allowed to be singles matches. But Charlie, and to go back another step, Tony D, and to go back even further, Noam Dar, have all done a fantastic job with the handicap, and that's what I perceive it as, of the British rounds rules stipulation.
Yes, and you know what? Since you gave Charlie the credit to start, and don't get me wrong, I will get my turn to bat to give Charlie credit. I will at least start by giving Javon credit. This dude shined in this step.
Yes.
Look, I'm gonna say it, and I know there have been people watching Javon longer than I have, if you count level up and stuff. This is my favorite
Well,
Javon Evans match so far.
G was it G is it DPW? That's what it is.
Yeah, DPW. Yeah, so I know there are
Deadlock.
people with like there are people with a lot more history with him. Just starting with my personal history with Javon Evans, this is my favorite Javon Evans match. Him and Charlie fucking cooked. Like this reminded me of SummerSlam '02 RVD versus Chris Benoit for the IC title. When you get a really good, flexible high flyer and just punch you in the mouth, don't give a shit, grind your face in the mat, kind of technical wrestler, mat wrestler, magic happens, people. Magic happens. This is my kind of wrestling. This is the kind of wrestling that I could watch this for 2 fucking hours, every fucking week. I love this. I love the pacing of it. I love Javon. Like this man, he does a few sunset flips. Like sunset flips is definitely his go-to pin. But man, like he just makes them look so good. It's like, God damn,
Hmm.
he is gonna be one hell of a talent when he really grows into it. I am telling you, this kid's like what, 19 still.
Yeah.
By the time this dude's 25, we're gonna be calling him one of the best high flyers in the world. Just amazing, just absolutely amazing. Um, I love the dragon suplex for the first fall. That was fucking amazing. Javon gets his finisher. What does he call his finisher again? I'm blanking
Who?
on it. Does anybody know? Um,
Are you talking
but
about
yeah,
Javon's finisher?
yes, 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 yes.
Oh, I actually didn't know that there was like a specific name for it. I just know that he
I
does
feel
like the
like there
top rope
was.
jumping cutter.
Well, yeah, it's like that spinning splash that he does off the top rope. It's like almost like that twister thing
Oh.
because that's how he got the tied up decision.
Hmm. I don't know what it's called, man.
All right, well, fair enough. Maybe somebody in our chat will fill us in, but he hits that to tie, and you could really feel the tension because I think it goes all the way to 5 fucking
Sky
rounds.
Twister press?
I think he has like a personality based name for it based on your boy
Oh.
bouncing like his like artist. But yeah, Sky Twister Pro. We'll just go with the technical name, I guess. Uh, but yeah, it's tied. They're going back and forth, and bro, I love the fucking finish of this because it was all so fluid. Evans gets a great dive out on Dempsey. I think it was one of those corner dives that just wipes Dempsey out. Visually looks stunning. Gets him back in the ring. Ren, who I just continue to love. I've taken to calling her Mother Hen Ren of No Quarter Catch Crew because she's always like locking shit down and making sure that everything's going smooth. And
Mm-hmm.
who the fuck returns? Tavion Hype
Tavion, yes.
with one of the
Oh,
most fluid, straight out of the Steiner Brothers handbooks, belly to belly suplexes I've
that was
ever
his
fucking seen.
finisher in Japan, dude. He was beating people with that.
That's his finisher in Japan, and I know that's been his finisher in NXT, so it is just his finisher. But I'm just saying, like the way he did it so quick, I'm like that because, bro, at first, and I got to give credit to the cinematography here because the way it was shot, that Javon's seeing somebody, and at first I'm like, oh god, is it going to be Gallus? Because Gallus has already talked about like we're going to take care of Javon, and then we're coming after the Heritage Cup. No, it's so much better. It's fucking Tavion, and that suplex he hit, man, he might have one of the best looking belly to bellies in the fucking business. I mean, this dude, the hip work, everything. Javon calls it hold it in the road. Thank you, Javaris. So yeah, he got hold it in the road earlier in the match tie. But now back to Tavion. Gets the suplex, puts him back in the ring, and to put the finisher over, Dempsey just covers. He doesn't bother to do anything additional or whatever, and that's the 3 count. Dempsey retains. Bro, this faction, like, okay, do I want to be an asshole? I don't even think necessarily it's me being an asshole. I'm just going to be brutally honest with y'all. We know what happened with Gulak. We know the weird fucking like sexually harassing Ronda Rousey stuff that happened with Gulak. And as a wrestler for a long time, I really liked Gulak, but I have to wonder if No Quarter Catch Crew is better without him in it. I really do because I love how it's looking right now. I really do. Ren is again, she's like kind of the aloof, but also I stand on business, and I'm gonna make sure you all stand on business when the bell rings. Charlie is like the serious guy, sure, but he's not actually like looking for fights, but he'll fight if he needs to, as we just saw here. Miles might be the closest thing to comedy relief with the whole deaf thing, but I love that it's never punching down. It never feels insensitive to Miles. It always feels good natured. And then fucking Tavion, I'll tell you, we've liked Tavion for a long time, and I'm saying we as in you, me, and the community, our community. I know we've all been high on Tavion for a long time. Him doing the N1 could have been the best thing for his career because I he's coming back with a new energy, a new sense of credibility. Like man, I'm telling you, if there is a fracture in this group, which I don't want there to be, okay, so it has two roads to me for Tavion. One, there's a fracture in NQCC, and Tavion just takes the cup from Charlie, and that's like his big "I'm severing myself from you in this group" moment. What I would prefer, because I fucking love this faction, have this guy step to Oba. I want to see it. I want to see this dude belly to belly fucking Oba Femi because that visual, fuck
And
you,
then Oba
Hogan.
kicks out and wins.
Well, sure, but we're not talking to your burner account right now. But yeah, like that to me would just blow Hogan and Andre out of the fucking water. Fuck you, Hogan. Dude, oh my god, I love this faction so fucking much. Yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go. Tavion's back. We're ready to cook. And hey, look, if you don't want him to cross paths with Oba because I don't know, you don't like Black Excellence having match of the fucking year contenders, that's cool. Whatever. Weird, but okay. Um, put him and Miles together and get the fucking tag titles on them because whatever we think about Miles, and I really haven't seen enough of him to form an opinion in ring. I'll still take the two of them over the fucking dweebs for NXT Tag Team Champions.
Mm-hmm.
Like all what this comes down to for me is get gold on fucking Tavion. That's the fucking purpose of my fucking seminar here is get a fucking title on Tavion. Hashtag title on Tavion. See, it writes itself. Jesus Christ. He's fantastic. This was so much fucking fun. But speaking of your God King, Obafemi, I'm sure your burner account was having a fun time with this. Obafemi versus Alex Hammerstone. What did you think about this matchup?
It was all right. I'm not that big on Hammerstone. Not super high on him. It's funny because when he first showed up, I was like, "Who the fuck gave Shane Douglas a copious amount of steroids?" Because that's what the dude looks like. He looks like Shane Douglas in the face, but then like body wise, it's just like Jesus Christ. Don't ever let this guy piss because it will literally burn through the cup.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Um,
um, But yeah, the match itself, I thought it was solid. Definitely not like the best Oba match by any means, but not a bad one or either. You know, it was just kind of there for me. It was like, yeah, fine. Like, I definitely thought that Oba and Tony D did a better job at the takeover or at the pay per view. The PLE. I keep on wanting to call things old things. I'm sorry.
well, it's okay. It's no, yeah, you're fine. But I will say this. I like that it was Hammerstone for the visual component.
Yeah.
Because seeing Oba dominate and still like lift him up and the power bomb, especially to a guy Hammerstone size, it's a great fucking visual, right? And like we say wrestling is pro wrestling, to be clear, isn't a sport, it's theater. It's very athletic theater. And so the visual component is going to be one of the main drivers. That and of course the acting or like promos, however you want to put it. And the visual of that power bomb, I'm like, man, Oba just continues to be an absolute beast. And look, I co-sign. I think we all have an Obafemi burner account in all of us because I think we're all just looking at this dude and we're like, whenever you are ready for your crown, take it. And like, I gotta say, even though they're two wildly different people, for everybody that pinned their hopes on a black top guy in Velveteen Dream before he went and fucked his own life up with all of his fucking garbage, uh, this time we're going all the fucking way because this dude's got the size, he's got the presence, he's got the promo, and he delivers in the ring. His conditioning's even getting better. Like, as long as he keeps his nose clean, which please, mother of God, keep your nose clean, please. It's in the bag. Like, this
Hmm.
dude, there's nothing he can't do. It just
You know what I
period.
could see happening?
What's that?
Because Oba is such sort of a perfect prospect and he's just kind of got everything going for him and he's literally like every time he gets an opportunity he just takes the ball and scores with it. I feel like there's going to end up being some Obafemi fatigue. People are going to start to feel like, okay, we get it, he's perfect, whatever. Show me someone with some interesting flaws that I can get behind, and then Oba's fandom is going to start to kind of turn on him a little bit. I won't be one of them, but I would not be surprised if it started happening at some point.
Not only will I not be one of them, I'm going to take everything you said and step on its neck because I will double down to the point where I will say if any NXT a surprise at the Rumble should win the Rumble,
Oh my
imagine.
god, I love that. Dude, if he drops the North American title right before a Rumble, I'm going all in on that pick. Like our Rumble game will be totally fucked because I will pick Oba to win and be in the final four and get the most eliminations, even though he won't even be announced.
Yeah, dude, you're not the only one, my guy. You're not the only fucking one. Because I'll tell, like, if I even get a whiff that Oba is going to be in the 2025 Royal Rumble, my game's fucked too. Because I'm going to be putting all my points on him, even if I'm wrong. Because we've had Rumble surprises before. And I'm telling you, this guy, especially because they had fucking Dominic Mysterio eliminate Braun Breaker this year, and I still hope that Braun gets him back for that, but that's another story for another time. Uh Oba should be the one. 1000%. 1000%. This dude should wreck everybody. But yeah, that's just to say again, like even though I do want Oba to drop the title properly and stuff, I'm still a huge Oba fan. See, that's the interesting thing I think about our community. We're all huge Oba fans. I think we're just Oba fans like in different ways because you're just like, no, fuck that, dominate everything, Thanos everything, and I'm like, no, I can see him losing to give a guy another rub, but he's still Oba fucking Femi, and I want to see him do the damn thing. I think we all want to see him get to the fucking top because this dude perfect fucking pro wrestler. God damn. So
Yeah.
yeah, he makes easy work of Hammerstone, and Tony D is just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm really boned.
Yeah, the reason
Um,
I say that though with like the fatigue thing is it's just based on my experience scouting NFL prospects because whenever someone who is like basically the like flawless prospects comes along, there is inevitably without fail every single time something like that happens where there's just this player who is just perfect, who is just a fucking guaranteed hit lock. You just put him in your scheme and you just know he's going to produce. Trevor Lawrence is a good example, which kind of ironically, Trevor Lawrence has been good but not great because he hasn't had an amazing supporting cast in the NFL so far. But, guys like, who was the wide receiver a couple years ago? I mean, even this year, like Marvin Harrison Jr. was another good example. Um, it's just anytime there's just this guy who comes out who's just like a lock, who's just like an easy, just like set it and forget it type prospect, where it's just like, oh yeah, no, this guy is guaranteed to be great in the NFL, or at least guaranteed to be no less than good in the NFL. Jamar Chase was who I was trying to think of a few years ago. Um, Inevitably, around like March and early April, because the draft is in late April, people will start criticizing them for shit that makes no fucking sense. Like they can't do this otherworldly shit that guys that have succeeded in the NFL before have been able to do. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't run a 4.340. It's like no shit. He doesn't need to. He does what he does so well that he's going to be fine. That kind of stuff. So I'm just waiting for that kind of stuff to start happening with Oba. Like, oh, well, Oba can do all this stuff so well, but can he do this or can he he's this big guy, which means that he can't wrestle. He do a 1 hour long Broadway? It's like fuck you. He shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
yeah, no, absolutely. Like what he's good at, he's better at than anybody that's come before him that does that thing. And
Hmm.
like, I'm just ready for him to take over. Um, then we get Duke Hudson versus Rich Holland. I
This
was
match disappointed me. I really wanted Duke to put up more of a fight than he did.
And I knew he wasn't going to. Like I think and I only say that dude because and I'm not lying. You know that I watched the Ridge heel turn multiple times,
Yes.
listen to the promo. Like it's I'm serious, man, when I say we really should be thinking about Ridge on the short list for people that could beat Oba for that title. And
Yeah.
only because
No,
again
and,
of the
and you know
booking.
what though, dude? Here's my thing. As long as it's not too soon, I'm open to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um
Like as
I
long as
will
it's not in the next like month or two, as long as Oba gets to like have a really good reign. Obviously, my number one priority is I don't want Oba to lose the title before winning the world title. and then I want him to
Yeah.
relinquish it, or lose it because he has to defend both titles in one night and have like just exhaustion be why he loses it. But
Yeah.
if he has to drop it to someone before winning any other titles or being called up, I would not be upset about Ridge because there's like believability there. Because Ridge is a big, strong motherfucker that I could believe being able to go toe to toe with Oba, especially because Ridge is a heel who cheats, who would be willing to cheat at least. So yeah, like I could definitely buy it.
I mean, I had an amazing time with this match in the Discord. I am so happy that Foster just loves me for who I am because I know how much he loves Chase U. And yet I can't lie. Dickhead, I'm going to just be a monster and hurt everyone, Rich Holland. I don't know. It speaks to me on a very deep, perverse level. And I was turned up in the Discord for this. I called Duke Hudson Puke Hudson because I'm a child. And then yeah, after the beatdown when I knew he was gonna win and he gets that the Redeemer on the barricade piece at the end of the matchup because he continues the beatdown. I said in the Discord, class dismissed, bitch. And that got a good pop in the Discord, so I was very proud of myself.
Do you know what I
Um,
think the worst part about though about this whole like angle with Ridge turning heel and beating the hell out of everyone and Chase U and all this stuff is?
what's that?
Sean Spears was right.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Speaking of Sean Spears, I really hope that this angle does something promising for Dion Lennox because what a man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, rooting for that to not suck. And yeah, we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what happens to Chase New now. I mean, I'm still thinking Andre Chase does come back at one point, tries to get revenge and, fight Ridge. And then, we've already seen Punk take it to McIntyre. So I'm sure NXT will make it seem like Andre Chase is taking it to Ridge, even though it's like, oh, okay, look at that child do something. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I'm sure he'll try.
Yeah, he will. That's very unfortunate. After that, let's see. Oh, yeah, Jordan Grace versus Sol Ruka.
This was fun. A couple of freak athletes going at it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I wish it had a definitive conclusion, but the lights go out, and then Wendy Chu and Rosemary, who earlier in the night had a creepy vignette with a dollhouse of their own, and showing like how they're friends and they've got plans for Lyra and Tatum Tara. Oh God, so now they go and they
Yeah, you know
lay out
what, dude?
Jordan
I'm
Grace.
proud. I'm actually even more happy now that you and Alex are referring to them as Tyra and not Tyra because now there's an actual woman in NXT going by the name Tyra. I don't know if you saw this, but that woman, Tamira, I forget, Mensa Stock, that's her name, Tamira Mensa Stock, is now going by Tyra May something. I forget her last name, but she's going by Tyra now. Like her first name is technically in kayfabe is Tyra. So that's like another reason why let's not use the Tyra thing when we've got Lyra and Tatum. Tyra works better.
Oh, well, here's the only problem with that. Like that's fine for our community, but even Tatum has used Tyra on TV.
I know, it upset me so much. I was like, fuck, it's canon.
Javoris, we already explained this in the Discord. I'm not about to do it again. You know why they didn't help. They had to strategize. But yeah, later we do get Tara content with them playing with Tatum's dolls together because she's stressed out, okay? And she's really nervous and she's got a lot of emotions. I did love the bit where she was like, thought Wendy wanted to be my friend, but she was just using me to get to the title. Can you believe it? And then Lyra just kind of looks at her like, you dead ass. And she's just like, imagine that. Uh but I love that they were able to get past it. I mean, these two are just oh my god, they're precious. I love them. By the way, congrats to Lyra on her engagement. I'm only talking about that because that seemed
Yeah,
to be pretty public via Instagram. But
yeah,
yeah, that was really cool. So congrats to her. But obviously, when it comes to sisterhood, and nobody replacing Tatum Paxley for Lyra Valkyria,
of
it's a
course.
beautiful thing. And so wow, Javaris. Javaris, you need to let love in, my guy. I've got plenty of hugs to give you whenever you want them. Just let the love in, dude. Um, but yeah, they're just talking about how next week they're gonna face Wendy and Rosemary. I'm excited for it. Should be a really fun tag match. And yeah, I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to watch it with Foster as we squee and make cinnamon buns together. It's gonna be great. Um, After that, last man standing. Nobody really cares. And yeah, Trick wins. And I will give credit to this for this. Had a really fun finish with like Ethan being like, "No, no, Peter, you have to get up. I don't want to face Trick again. Oh, geez, Trick's getting up. I better do something." And he goes for like a belt shot, and then Trick back body drops him through the announce table, which I thought was a really cool visual. And so he gets up while doing the backdrop, so he gets the 10 count and he gets the number one contendership. I thought this was a really well done finish in that regard. And yeah, it re-solidifies Trick as a top contender. I will say again, I thought the writing of this just overall was atrocious. I don't think Trick should have had to jump through so many hoops to get his title shot. But given that he did, yeah, I just hope that he goes to October 1st now and he beats Ethan and he regains the title and we can call him two-time Trick, two-time NXT champion Trick Williams. And hopefully his second run will be more what I thought his first run was going to be, and that's really fleshed out, and then passing it down to another credible person, most likely Oba, depending on how long they want him in NXT, but who
Oh,
knows? A lot can happen. So, we'll have to
oh,
wait and see. And
oh, bah.
exactly. And so yeah, we'll have to see what happens. And then that leaves SmackDown. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, opened with Cody solo, which was probably the worst part of the show. The antithesis to Raw, which opened with the best part of the show.
And again, I will give credit to this on a more meta level, on a more structural level. I like that the cage match did really seem like a proper cage match. You didn't get overbooking. You didn't get Jacob try and like break into the cage. It felt old school. This is the kind of cage match that I think Gunther, when he said in that interview recently, like, I miss old school cage matches. I would like to do a cage match. I still want to see Gunther do that, by the way. When he was like, I want to do a cage match, I'm like, you know what? I want to see you in a cage match too. That'd probably be fucking awesome. Because I normally, when you talk about step matches, I know you don't care for ladder matches and stuff. I think cage matches are my least favorite step. Because
Really?
they just, well, in this day and age especially, I think in the Ruthless Aggression era, I liked them, and I think the last great ladder match I saw was 2010 TLC, John Morrison versus Sheamus, because I feel like the psychology in that was so underrated. But yeah, I feel like most cage matches are like boring. Like, for example, Extreme Rules '09. In fact, I think we even did a 12 request live on this recently. Batista versus Orton, and I think it was because Batista was injured, to be fair. But
Yeah.
that was like, it was kind of a dud cage match. And yeah, I just feel like, I don't know. I just never really care for it. But I feel like this wasn't a bad cage match, and I feel like Gunther in one would be a hell of a lot of fun. So Cody wins after a second crossroads. Real nice finisher there that you need two, sometimes even three of them to win. Maybe maybe reassess that, suckbag. Afterwards, Bloodline comes
Maybe
out.
suck a little less, fuckbag.
I mean, I'm trying to keep what I asked for realistic. But yeah. Cody, Melds were done after the matchup, and then Bloodline does come in. They put the boots to Cody. Jacob gets a beautiful moonsault, and they keep putting the boots to him. And then like Solo wants Jacob to do it again, but off the top of the cage. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish they would have let Jacob do it because that would have really like completed the highlight reel for that night. But Roman's music hits. And so I get that too. Maybe they don't want him taking really high bumps after the freak thing that happened off the one thing at Money in the Bank. So yeah. Roman comes out. He does Roman things, laying everybody out, being the tribal chief. Huge fucking pop. Huge fucking pop. Cody Rhodes. That's right. Mini pop. But Roman Reigns owns the pop. It's fucking incredible. Jacob wants to square up though. Roman makes eye contact with him. He's like, "Get in here." I love that both Cody and Roman want to fight Jacob. That like makes him feel like the biggest fucking deal to me when you're world champion and the guy that actually matters both want to square up with you. It's amazing. So good for Jacob. I love that he's getting this much of a rub. And here's the thing. He has shown so much talent and so much promise already that yeah, like I feel like he deserves every rub that he's been getting. It's been absolutely fucking wonderful for him, and I really can't wait for both those singles matches. Mainly the Roman Jacob one. I'm only excited for the Cody one because he'll give Cody a decent matchup, and maybe I could sometimes I just believe that he can win the title. So yeah, no, let's keep some false
That
hope
would be
going there.
nice.
Yeah, it would not as nice as your face though. We move
Whoa.
on. Michin versus Piper Niven. Michin actually gets the win. This I actually missed because you know what? That's
You know
why.
what upsets me that they call soul food eat defeat? It's soul food. Anytime it's used by a Korean woman, it's soul food.
Yeah, yeah. That's fair. That's a fair take. I actually did miss this matchup, unfortunately. And apparently, okay, yeah. Chelsea Green attacked Meechin after, and then she hit the unpretty her on the trash can.
Yeah.
God, I love Chelsea. You know,
Same.
she just she deserves at least one women's championship reign on WWE before she calls it a career because that woman is just tremendous.
Yes.
So then we get Kevin Owens and Ricky, or at least we thought Ricky versus A-Town Down Under. Then, when it was told that Randy Orton was actually in the building, Kevin Owens stuns Ricky. That's really classy. The guy offered to help you out and you stun him. That's why I love you, Kevin. That's why you're a father. Damn it. And yeah, Orton shows up. We do A-Town Down Under. RKO win the matchup. And yeah, we just continue the slow burn of dissolving
Can I
A-Town Down
just say
Under.
too, they hit
Yes.
their finishers in unison, and I loved that Kevin adjusted his finisher. Normally, when he does the stunner, he does the kick into the stunner. He changed it this time. He jumped into the stunner this time so that it looked more synchronistic with Randy's RKO.
Yes.
It looked
Yes.
awesome.
It did. I thought it was a great visual. And to think that, we're just doing a slow burn for a future failed Austin Theory babyface run. Um,
Wait, what? Is this something you've heard about on the sheets?
well, no, I just feel like they've been saying, like, oh, Grayson Waller hasn't been that good of a friend to Austin Theory. So what are they talking about? Kevin Owens or this one or that one. I think they've been teasing for a while that, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory could break up just
Yeah.
because Waller's kind of a dick. But Austin Theory, I mean, that face. So, I don't know. They're looking to make him a babyface, I think, and I just don't think it's going to connect at all. Um, so yeah, that'll be something to look forward to. After that, I believe we get Nia's segment. Yeah, let's hear from Nia Jax. How about let's not? I will say I can give her credit where she's grown and she's gotten a lot better, but I still can't stand her on the mic, bro. And honestly, I am gonna be that superficial prick once. I feel like I get one coupon every year that I give to myself. I think it's just because I don't like her voice. Like I just genuinely do not like her voice. I'm like, oh my god, just stop talking.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, she was talking a bit, and really she was talking her shit. Um, and so yeah, she's like, ever since I've come back to WWE, I've been so dominant, and I'm the champion, and it's my locker room, and all that good stuff. And she alludes to that she doesn't know who her challenger for Bad Blood is, but it doesn't matter because she's gonna beat them like she has all the rest. And then Bailey comes out and yeah, Bailey says that she wants to challenge. They do a little back and forth. Then Tiffany comes out when Bailey tried stirring the pot by being like, what is the thing with you and Tiffany? Because it seems like, you're using her as like a mutual exchange kind of thing. What's going on? Tiffany comes out. She talks a little bit of trash with her briefcase that's ever in view. They're teasing. When is she going to
Mhm.
cash that in? Then Naomi comes out, which I like because that is consistent with the writing. We know that ever since Bailey got excommunicated from Damage Control and has been a baby face, that Naomi's been one of the few people to really give this Bailey a chance because we know Bianca wasn't in the mood and it's just been hard for Bailey to find allies in the locker room. So Naomi backs her up, but Naomi has her own agenda too. She says to Nia, I want to challenge you for the women's championship. And so Super Blue, that comment popped me, to be fair. And so, Naya's like, oh, you want to shine my title and you want to shine my title. How about we do this? How about we do a tag team matchup, you guys versus me and Tiff. And, you know, if you guys should win, but Naya said it like, yeah, that'd be a freaking miracle if that happened. Whoever gets the winning pinfall gets to face me for the title. And then, they agree. They do kind of look at each other because it's like, well, then we're going to have to fight and see who gets the winning pin. And that could be a lot of problems, but fine. Fine. We'll do it. And then as they're leaving, as Tiffany and Nia are leaving, and see, I didn't really like this because I thought, like, no way this would hold up in court. No way should Aldous sanction this. They already agreed to the terms. And then as Nia's leaving, she's like, oh, and by the way, whichever one of you gets pinned in the matchup when we win, that person has to leave SmackDown forever.
Permanently.
Permanently. God damn it. That impression popped me there. So the way I see it is either Bailey just gets the winning pin and goes to Bad Blood. I could also see Bailey eating the pin and going to Raw, and maybe we have kind of like a quasi Damage Control reunion, given that Io and Kyrie are babyfaces, but that would need a lot of
Ooh.
fucking work and a lot of fucking writing to
Ooh.
be like,
Oh.
how do we close that chasm, Um, so what do you think happens here, man? Do you think it's just the simplest explanation is the right one, and we just get Bailey getting the winning pin, or what do you see here?
I don't know about Bailey. Here's what I speculated, okay?
Yeah,
I think one of them is going to hit their finisher on Tiffany, and the other one is going to break up the pin.
interesting. Interesting.
Now, whether that actually fully costs them the match or not is another thing. That's up for debate. I don't know. Someone in the chat in the Discord at the time was like, "But then they win anyway," and I was like, "I don't know about that. I think one of them might actually just lose, and this might just be like a tool, a writing tool that they're using to move someone from SmackDown to Raw post draft so that they don't have to justify it with a trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
hell, maybe even to NXT. I don't fucking know.
Here's another possibility I thought of since we're just talking a
And
lot. And
I
by the
think it
way,
would have to be Bailey, by the way, because I don't think Naomi would want to leave her boy, her man, Jimmy.
no, I don't think so. And Foster said, or Naomi could win the tag match in the belt, please. Look, Foster, I would love to entertain that possibility. Seriously, I just don't think WWE sees Naomi that way. Like, if I'm being brutally honest, I think WWE really sees Naomi in this run as enhancement talent for other people that they want to get over beyond her. I've gotten that vibe since she returned to the company. You know, you're either that person that like legitimizes a person's title reign when you challenge, or in the case of Tiffany, like you help get her over by being the vet in the program. Same thing with Blair Davenport. Even though I think she did get those wins over Blair, to be fair, you know, that just seems to be where Naomi's kind of stuck at the moment. And again, I don't say that to be disrespectful or out of pocket. I just wish WWE would change their perception because that's just the signal that I'm getting. That said, though, I did have another possibility while you were talking. What if we do some weird kind of double pin bullshit? And then it's like, well, we don't really know how it goes.
Oh,
And then, like, yeah, Aldis would come in and he would make a decision. I even wonder if Nia would defend the title in a fatal four way against Bailey, Naomi, and Tiffany, and then she just had that 25% chance, and it's like, oh, can I get this?
scandalous.
Yeah, yeah. Because then she could see early how Tiffany would react because she wouldn't have to use the briefcase, but she still got a title opportunity. So it's like, oh, what do I do here?
The
Do I?
dust settles, and then Tiffany cashes in post match. Ooh.
Oh my god, dude, that would be insane. Attack Nia from behind after retaining, provided she would retain. And then she'd be like, I want a 2-over. I'm cashing this in. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know, man. I did think like a
Nia
double pin.
retains,
Yeah.
and then as Bailey and Naomi are licking their wounds, walking up the ramp, Tiffany hits her in the back with the briefcase. Oh!
Yes. And then she screams at her, it's Tiffy time! And fucking does her bullshit.
That's too good.
Bailey, as she's walking up the ramp, you could hear her say, oh, Tiffy, go back to your mom, you idiot, like she did on SmackDown. Because she's like, yeah, you know what? It wasn't a blunder. It was real. Fuck you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you have the chance to put the SmackDown Women's Division on crack, and you know what? I'm here for it. Do it. Do it. Um, so yeah, that was that segment. So very curious how that's all gonna go. I will admit it is a clever stip. It's definitely very different. We'll just have to see how they use it because it could be written horribly next week. Carmelo versus
True.
Carmelo versus Andrade. I gotta be honest, I was a tad underwhelmed by this matchup. I feel like they've had
I
such an
don't
amazing
even.
series.
I think I was like in the bathroom or something when this match was happening because I don't remember it at all.
Oh wow, okay. Well, yeah, it was a good back and forth. They did your usual suspect spots, knees in the corner.
I do
Fucking
remember watching Andrade go for and miss a split-legged moonsault that looked fucking miserable on the knees. Oh my god, that looked horrible.
yeah,
Like
it
the way
was rough.
his knees slammed into the mat upon missing looked so painful.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they beat the crap out of each other for sure, and it was rough. I'm just saying, I feel like they've had matches in this series that I may have liked more than this. It was still good though. I mean, it was far from the worst match I've ever seen. Like that, you'd have to be really fucking bad to get to that territory, and neither of these guys are. Um, but yeah, Andrade wins after the message from I believe the middle rope. So
What is
that
the
was
message?
Beg pardon?
Is the message that double underhook spinning slam that he does?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
So yeah, he wins off of that, and then LA Knight comes out and more or less says, "Oh hey, the prize you won was to lose to me with the United States title on the line. You know, insert wish.com rock promo, and there you
Dude,
go."
holy shit. So you know that my mom and I we went back and we're watching Digimon Adventure from the very beginning, from literally episode 1.
Yes.
We got to the Etamon arc tonight. Do you know who I'm talking about when I say Etamon?
Wasn't that Elvis impersonating
The
one?
Elvis looking, the monkey looking guy that did the Elvis. Yes, dude. As we're watching it, my mom keeps saying, "Oh my god, he reminds me so much of L.A. Knight."
Wow. You know what? I don't even need to add anything to that. That is the perfect diss. Um, Jesus
It's
Christ.
so funny because now every time Etamon says "yeah," it's like, "Oh my god, I think I hear it."
She both ruined it for you and confirmed it for you at the same time.
It's true. It's true.
Oh god, and then this final segment here, we finally hear from Roman Reigns, and what comes out of his mouth, I can only say, is doubling down. Because he opens his mouth and he doesn't give this quiet reflection about, I've heard you all chanting for me, and I lost my dad, and it's been a hard time for my family, but no, no, no. It's still 100% swagger Roman Reigns. And you know what? I dig it. And you
God
know what
damn
else?
right.
I respect it. Fuck Cody Rhodes. Fuck emotions right now. We're gonna write that later when Jey Uso makes me come face to face with my consequences. Uh, this shit was great. He said, "Look, it's still my ring, still my show, and even though I don't have my family's Ulafala, I'm still the tribal chief."
I
And
don't
like,
need
crap,
Cody Rhodes to handle my family business.
yeah, he says, "I don't need him. I sure as hell don't need Cody Rhodes." Like he Roman just fundamentally understands this character and he's not betraying it for anything. Unless like I would hope the writing would give him a reason, not necessarily to betray it, but to like have a little bit of an inflection in it or a bit of a change in it. But no, he's not gonna do that fucking shit for Cody fucking Rhodes. Fuck that. Um and see, this is what I meant when I said the beginning of the show. And by the beginning of the show, I mean the beginning of in review, where man, like all the complaints you would have about old Roman Reigns, you could transplant them on Cody and not miss a fucking beat. Because Cody, after saying he was done after the cage match, then he even has a backstage segment like earlier in the show before this segment, telling Nick like, "Oh, I'm not putting my name on that contract because it was a contract for Bad Blood tag team matchup, Solo and Jacob versus Roman and Cody Rhodes." Cody said straight up, "I'm not signing that. I'm done." Roman getting into it.
Bro, Cody really said, "I don't want to fight the bloodline anymore." But then he saw the island of irrelevancy was leaving his ass. And he was like, "No, no, wait up. I want to get on."
Dude, he looked so pathetic here to me because he saw Roman standing in the middle of that ring with all the confidence and love in the world from, confidence in the world in himself and the love from the people
Mm-hmm.
and just being unshaken. And he's like, wait a minute, I still need to make this about me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's when he came out and did his fucking bullshit. I'm like, dude, you are so fucking unserious. You talked all this shit about how you're done, how you fought the bloodline long enough. And yet Roman's like, okay, cool, bye. You were such a pygmy, dude. You were just hoping that Roman would beg you, would ask you, like, oh, look, Cody, I can't do this. You really thought Roman fucking Reigns would say to you, I can't do this by myself. How come you don't want me, man? Like, fuck you, dude. So he comes
The
out and then
thing
he
that
tries.
triggered Cody into coming out, by the way, was Roman saying, "This is still my ring. This is still my WWE." And then cue the fucking theme song for Cody Rhodes. He couldn't handle Roman laying claim to the company anymore now that Cody beat him one time at WrestleMania.
Yeah, like, dude,
Like, Cody, do
he,
you realize that y'all are 1-1 now? Like, that you act like you just own Roman now, and then it's just over, and then it's just the dust is settled. Like, please get over yourself.
dude, he he is so fucking obvious, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. He is so insecure in his person. Like he comes out and he tries to big league Roman. He's got his smolder on and his theme song, which sucks, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else. And he's like, "Your ring, your WWE, It hasn't been since WrestleMania. That's right, no pop. Fuck you. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now with this? What is this? I'm the champion. No, I get that you're the champion. Believe me, I know that you're the champion because
Yeah,
it's
we've
been fucking
suffered through it
insufferable.
now for 5 months.
Oh my god, it's already been that long? Christ, kill me. And,
I know, dude.
like,
I know.
you can tell, like, this is why I hate Cody so much because a real person that, like, loves the art of wrestling and sees the opportunity, you could do, like, now Cody's the villain. Like, I would absolutely turn Cody heel here at some
Dude,
point because Roman has the crowd. He has the people. And if I'm Cody,
can I read a tweet to you that I wrote?
sure, yeah,
Because
please.
it's amazing. You and I have literally the exact same thought here. Somebody named Nav tweeted, noticed something. Cody came out as soon as Roman mentioned this is my WWE, hit him with the "it was," and you can feel the jealousy tone. In kayfabe, Cody's character is super jealous of Roman still being a bigger deal than him because he clearly said he was done until Roman hurt his ego with his promo. And I actually responded. And you know that I'm not very active on Twitter. Normally it's just promoting our shit, right? But I actually went out of my way because when I saw this, I was like, oh, I got to get my shit in here. And I said, if it was anyone else, anyone who didn't have the monumental Alaskan sized ego of Cody Runnels, this would be a setup for him to turn heel because he did everything right. He kissed the babies, he pandered to the fans, earned his shot, won clean, and the fans still chose Roman. We had
And
the
this is
same fucking thought, dude.
no, dude, and you and me and it like everybody that would is saying like Cody should be the heel here is 1000% right. And again, like I don't want to seem like I'm worshiping at his altar because fuck him as a human being, but as a wrestler, I don't even like to think about AEW Chris Jericho because to me, like his work in WWE, especially in '08, when he had the same kind of story, like I try and be an honest man, I try and be a good man, I do everything right, and yet you cheer for Shawn Michaels, who's a liar, who he's fucking Shawn Michaels. Like anybody that knows wrestling knows how this guy has been and whatever. And screw you guys. Cody could do that, and the stakes would be so
Yep.
much higher because he's the world champion and it's Roman Reigns and everything. But he is just so in love with himself and he wants everybody else to love him. Like he's Homelander unironically without the psychopathy. And like,
Dude, speaking of
God.
psychopathy, did you see Cody twitching? He was twitching like fucking Homelander.
God, I actually missed that part because I know you mentioned it. I just couldn't quite discern it, but I'll take your word for it. Like, because I would be too if I'm thinking, wait, I'm the world champion. You all begged me to beat him because he had the title for like nearly 3 years, if not even a little over 3 years. And I do it, and now you want him to take over the world again. What the fuck? But like, no, instead Cody's just gonna be like,
That's a you people promo in the making. You people want him again?
yeah. And dude, even if you wanted to be a bit cliche with it and a bit on the nose, just because I don't expect Cody to ever do anything right, much less perfect. He could do his heel promos rather than what do you want to talk about? It could be like, what do I want to talk about? Because fuck you people. And like, like even the little things like that probably would get a little pop out of me again because I'm a child. And so yeah, but he's not gonna do any of that. He's not gonna do any of that. And it's
He's not going to
it's
do anything
leaving money on the
cool
table to
because
me.
he's Cody.
Yeah, exactly. He's Cody and he has this image of himself. He feels like he's John Cena. And see,
Yep.
that's another funny thing too. Seeing Cody's run, it's amazing how much I retroactively respect every other top guy that isn't Hulk Hogan. Because again, fuck you, Hogan. Just
I mean, that pretty
forever.
much just comes down to like what Brett and Austin, maybe Rock.
Brett, Brett, Austin Rock, Cena, and for a small window of time, Daniel Bryan. And yeah, like, cause God, and I know those guys weren't perfect either, and they have their shit, but like, unlike Cody, I feel like they could always see the opportunity. I mean, hell, even Stone Cold experimented with going fucking heel. Cena didn't, but honestly, I got it from his point of view. I really did.
Because
He
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 didn't need
was
to, because he was already a heel to half the crowds anyway.
exactly, and he was still doing Make a Wish. I don't think he wanted to shatter those kids' perceptions. But Cody,
Well,
Cody
that's going
thinks
to be Cody's justification too, though. Is that like he's going to say like, half the crowd's booing me anyway, and I don't want to stop, being a hero to the kids. That's going to be what Cody says too.
Dude, and you know what? I've got to be logically consistent, and so maybe. But what I would love to see, I'd love to see how much money John made the company during his run at the top versus how much money Cody's making him right now. Because I know it's way asymmetrical. Because Cena started really young, and Cody's second run with the company started when he was much older. But like, are you making the money to justify staying a babyface? Is my point. Like, are you sure that you being a heel wouldn't at least be more lucrative, given that we're not in the '80s anymore and people are probably still gonna buy your merch? Um, I mean, Jesus Christ, how many times in our Discord have we already said that he has the iconography of like Proud Boy shit with the fucking American flag skull and everything? Like, come
Hmm.
on, dude. Like, you're a fucking heel. Yeah, I don't know. All I'm saying is, I'm seeing Roman standing on his confidence, and then Cody coming in with, "It was you insecure baby back bitch." I keep saying, y'all, I keep trying to get Shawn to be number one contender, right? It ain't happening. WWE ain't returning my calls. He would never. If Shawn was world champion, he wouldn't be talking this shit right now. He would have stood with Roman from the beginning like a proud champion, and he wouldn't have been waffling and then only come back when it's like, no, he's more relevant than me. I think I deserve the big pop. Shut up. Fuck.
And by
God
the way,
damn it.
that's a proud champion, not a proud boy.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, this is why we need a better champion than Cody Rhodes because I mean, look at it, people.
Look at
God
him,
damn.
people.
Exactly. Then Temu Bloodline comes out and Solo's trying to stir the pot. I Solo actually did get kind of a pop out of me here. He's like, he doesn't even like you. He ain't gonna sign that. I feel like I want color commentary that's like this. That really is just reacting to what's happening, but from the heel perspective. Why is he signing it? He hates him. You know they're not gonna get along, Michael. Fuck.
I feel like
But no,
Barrett and Booker T both kind of provide that sometimes.
and I think that's why Booker's starting to grow on me on NXT. It took a while, but I'm like, you know what? When you just let go and you just go along for the ride, it's nice. And Wade Barrett, especially. I
Yeah.
like Wade. I think I've always kind of liked Wade. At times, he could be a bit much, but I think like 90% of the time, I'm like, no, you know what? Wade's good people, and Wade's solid on commentary. So good for him. I think that's why I was like, Drew, what are you doing? Don't pick a fight with him. He's the one good commentator we have because I know they're trying to get that new guy over on Raw, and he just Jesus Christ.
I actually kind of liked him. Joe Tessitore, I thought he was pretty good.
I think he sucks, dude. I can't stand him. I think he's boring. I
He
think
actually
he's
kind of reminds me of Morrow a little bit.
no, dude. I couldn't disagree with you harder. Morrow, I feel like had an energy, and I mean maybe Joe will learn it over time, but Morrow at least knew how to really convey the excitement and the mayhem going on. I saw one spot in that street fight where Nikki does like a neck breaker to Ivy, like in a pile of chairs, and Joe's just reading it, like reading what's happening as if he's reading an ad for fucking Costco or some shit. I'm like, where's the energy? He's just so lifeless. That's what I don't like about it. It's not even like
Oh, so,
mannerisms or
so
anything.
like he's not like as into the show as he should be. I gotcha.
Yeah, he's low energy. He's low energy as fuck, and I can't stand it. That's like I know you have your pet peeves with the commentary, just with like
Well,
certain
yeah, and
people's
my big
mannerisms
thing
and
with
stuff.
commentary is I would rather not be able to notice commentary at all than be annoyed by them.
Yeah, and see, for me, it's a delicate balance. Like, I want to know that you're there, like in a way, but like to be that mediator, like take my energy and transfer it into your commentary. That's why I'll always love, for better or worse, I'll always love WWE era Jim Ross. I mean, that dude was the voice of my fucking childhood. And like Morrow was really good. I even like Tom Phillips because Tom Phillips, I'll tell you, he
Hmm.
wasn't as like fucking crazy as like Jim at times, but like Tom had like this professionalism to him, even when he got excited. I still think it was a huge mistake of WWE to let Tom Phillips go.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things going on TNA. And there was another, you know what? We'll talk about TNA later because I
Oh,
actually
we
did
will.
see a little something there.
Nice.
Yeah, a little something. It won't be too long. But yeah, no, I thought Tom was great, but this guy, I hope he gets better because I know it's rare that I'm really visceral on a commentator because I've just gotten to
I
the point
will
where I don't
say
care.
I do hope that his enthusiasm picks up because I am not really bothered by his lack of enthusiasm, but knowing now that that is a criticism that you and I'm sure plenty of other people have of him, I do hope that he gets better at it because I like him in other contexts. I like him, I like his attitude, I like his personality, I like his sense of humor. There's a lot that I like about him, and I do like that he does seem to have a working knowledge of the product at least. I just
Yeah.
at this point now, I'm just hoping that he does stuff to kind of cover his weaknesses. And yeah, we'll agree that that is a weakness because I didn't even notice that. But we will agree that that is a weakness of his. If he is struggling to show enthusiasm when exciting things are happening, that is a definite weakness for sure.
And you know what? To be fair on my side, since you were very charitable to my grievances, I will say that I've only seen him on two shows now because I've been kind of skipping out on Raw lately. So I would like to see him through a whole show and see if there are things I like. Because again, I think he wants to be there and he seems like he's committed to learning it. And really, again, he's fine. He doesn't have any weird mannerisms like Joseph, where it's like rather than calling the mood, I'm gonna get really loud, kind of thing. But yeah, I just need the energy just a bit more. I don't want you to sound like you're reading off teleprompter.
Right,
If you could just
right.
work on that, I think we'd be good. But anyway, to get back to what actually matters, Roman signs the contract, and then Cody sticks his hand. I'm like, oh, fine. Like, I love this too because it's like, fine, I'll say, but bitch, nobody even asked you to. No, nobody like it. Almost seemed like, oh, fine, I'll do you
Roman
this
did.
favor.
Roman handed him the contract.
I mean, fair enough. But didn't Cody put his hand out first before Roman did that? Like that, I feel like Cody's hand came first,
You might be
and then
right.
Roman was like,
Yeah, I
fine.
might be misremembering.
So again, it's almost like
But
Cody's
you know
just like,
what though, I do appreciate though that Roman did it because there is sort of a sense of like a mutual respect there, given that Cody did beat Roman.
yeah,
It's like Roman knows who he's going to war with, like he knows who he's got beside him going into battle with, and I can appreciate the storytelling on that front too.
God, and we're going to avoid Cody turning heel because this will dovetail to Roman just getting deeper in the bloodline story, which I think the only worthwhile matchup there is again Roman versus Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
But man, like I would love if after the Bad Blood tag match, they're celebrating and then Cody out of nowhere just hits a crossroads on Roman and just leaves him in the ring for dead.
Oh
Like,
God, that would be art.
well, it would be. And Cody doesn't want to create art. He wants to make money and feel like he's the hero of every story he's in.
Yes.
Narcissists are killing pro wrestling.
Narcissists are killing the planet.
That is also true. Thank you. Thank you. The existential dread wasn't high enough. So yeah. Yeah, there we go. That was SmackDown. So, anything you want to talk about from AEW this week?
That's a really good question. You know what? I don't really know if I have anything from like Dynamite or Rampage, but I did see that tonight, guess who appeared on Collision and confronted Mariah May about wanting to challenge her for the women's championship?
Who is that?
Yuka Sakazaki.
Nice.
Yep.
That should be a really good fucking match. Holy shit.
And she beat Deonna Purrazzo in a match as well.
Wow. Holy shit. Well, all right, Yuka. Hey, as long as Yuka thrives, I'm happy for her. She's an immensely talented fucking wrestler.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. When I saw someone say something about Yuka and Mariah, I was like, oh my God, I have got to see this. So I looked it up. And yeah, she was absolutely adorable. She did her cute little hi, and then Mariah was like, "Who are you?" And she introduced herself, and Mariah was like, whatever. And Yuka said, "I want belts," and Mariah got all up in her face and said she was going to tear her fucking head off, basically. And Yuka said, "Okay, bye." It was very
disarming,
cute, very sweet.
disarming them with her cute. That's genius.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. It was. I will say, I actually would recommend going out of your way to seek out that segment because it was very cute and entertaining.
I'm
Entertaining.
very happy for Mariah, being a champion and carrying it as well as she is.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, you already know I'm just completely checked out of AEW, but that doesn't mean that there aren't performers that I don't care about there. I just
Yeah.
care about them from a distance.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
I
is
will say the only
totally understandable, at least as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I will say the only thing I watch from AEW, as you know, I watched the John Moxley Darby Allen segment.
Was
Um,
that just like Moxley telling Darby that he should give him his title shot,
yeah,
or else?
yeah. I gotta tell y'all, stop trying to make Darby Allen happen, AEW. Because, like, God, I was telling this to Ashton, because Ashton and I, you guys already know. When we game, we talk about shit. And especially when I watch a show, I'm like, hey man, what'd you think about the show or whatever? Or I'll tell him some random wrestling stuff I watched. I told him that I watched this. And what I told him exactly was it's so funny because in so many ways, Darby Allen is like Jeff Hardy, except the way that matters most. Because Jeff was never a great promo. But what Jeff did have was an organic connection with the crowd. And I think when he spoke at the time, especially when he was red hot, he always seemed very sincere to me.
Yeah.
Like, I think Jeff knew, even with the demons he was struggling with, that he was very lucky to be where he was, that he was genuinely appreciative of the support of the people. And maybe Darby would come off the same way to me too if I didn't know the stuff about Darby that I do between the hot sauce and the ass and exploiting homeless people for entertainment and seemingly just being a sociopath and just like fucking lying constantly and not seeming to have any remorse for anything. He
Yeah, that
tries to
he's a
give this
compulsive liar. Yeah.
exactly. And like he cuts his promo, AEW gave me my life. I was able to buy a house because of AEW. When I was working the indies, everything I owned you could fit in my car. And I'm like, there are a lot of wrestler stories like that, so I have no reason to like not believe you.
I'm just waiting for us to find out that Darby came from like a very privileged family and like he like lived in a cul-de-sac and shit. Like, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, like I really to me, and maybe it's just my own insensitivity, because I will admit, guys, look, sometimes I know I can be a dick on here, and maybe I'm a bit harsh in my criticism or my opinions. I would say that I'm working on it, but I don't want to lie to any of you. But really, when I hear this, I'm like, even if that is true, I don't know, fuck you, Darby. Because if anything, that makes you worse in my eyes, because how can you go through all that and yet have so little empathy to do all the shit that you've done since? Like it just, that doesn't ride with me. That doesn't vibe with me at all. And so yeah, he's trying to give him that whole story. And he's like, "Oh, John, you were one of the people that I respected. I thought you were a guy that you just loved the art of wrestling and you wanted to beat to your own drum. And now you're asking me to give you my title shot. What are you drinking again?" And like that got a pop in the
Oh
crowd
my
because
god, that's what the that. I'm sorry, but that is what is the word to even use here? I don't want to say lowbrow. I don't want to say low hanging fruit. It's classless. That's the word. It's fucking classless.
well, that's apparently the only kind of promo and content that AEW cares to put out, because it did get like a cheap pop from the crowd. Like, oh, he said what? And I'm like, God, you know, good promos, man. We really, anytime we see a good talker, we really need to give them their flowers 10 times over, because
This
I feel
is
like
what makes
we're,
Oba so fucking special because he's only been doing this for like a year and a half and he's already really fucking good at talking.
bro, he works that stick better than I would even say 90% of that AEW roster. I'm not even kidding. Like, God, learn to fucking talk. Jesus. So yeah, that was pretty cheap. Now I do think Moxley's a good promo. Hell, there was a point where he was AEW champion. I called him the Harley Race of AEW for his promo cutting. I'm not about to walk that back. He is a great promo. I feel like the promo quality is going to vary based on gimmick, because different gimmicks may necessitate a different promo style. But man, Darby, just keep that man away from a fucking microphone. Christ. So yeah, that's all I saw. It's going to be AEW Grand Slam. Oh, and apparently Nigel McGuinness is going to be challenging Danielson. You told me for the title. So at least they got there, I guess. I don't know, man. Fucking AEW. Anything else you want to talk about from that show, or just AEW in general this week?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's about it, man.
All right. As far as extracurricular, I did watch like YouTube highlights from TNA, so I didn't get to see the finish of the matchup because spoilers. But yeah, Nick Nemeth versus Moose for the world title, and then John Layfield coming out and laying out, Eddie Edwards and somebody else, Brian Myers with Larry. It's kind of even the odds for Nemeth, and yeah, yeah. Apparently he retained against Moose, and cool. I know commentary said that he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I had to stifle a cackle in my own home. So that was great. Um, so yeah, that's TNA. That's TNA. Did you do any extracurriculars this week?
No, I did not, sir. Thank you for
Well,
asking, though.
yeah, you're definitely the healthier one between the two of us. And now we can open up for questions. So Super Blue got way fucking ahead of it and asked questions. For John, do you like the new theme song for SmackDown? I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, bro. I didn't even pay attention to it. I don't know what it is, and I'm probably not gonna seek it out. So I'm just gonna say no until I actually do hear it on an episode of SmackDown. And then I'm gonna be like, oh hey, Super Blue, yes. Next question. How do you feel about Brian versus Nigel for the title happening on Grand Slam? Makes sense to do it as a match. I just feel like the road there was a little convoluted. He should have just won the Battle Royal, but of course we had to give it to Christian, who is waiting in the wings. Ashton, do you have anything you want to say about that question?
I'm literally exact same to what you said. I feel like I
Yeah,
just don't understand why they couldn't have just given the gauntlet to Nigel if they were planning on giving him a title match anyway. Like you could have gotten such a huge reaction and gotten so much momentum behind that. And Christian still has not gotten his title shot. He still has not used his opportunity that he earned with that gauntlet match. So there's really no point in having had him win that other than Mahil Heat, which feels like a very Vince McMahon style booking decision. So yeah, just fucking give it to Nigel. Let him get the hometown pop, baby.
Exactly. Next question. If John beats Darby, do you think Brian's reign or a title reign will be short? I could see it. I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
Brian was ever meant to be a long reigning
Speaking
champ.
of this Moxley thing, have you heard about like this whole like what they're taking inspiration from and stuff?
No.
Okay. So Moxley's new faction is apparently taking inspiration from a 90s Australian movie called Romper Stomper.
I feel like I've heard of that movie actually. Was that a
Well,
home invasion movie?
I don't think so, no.
I thought it was like a movie where they break into a house or something. But anyway, continue because I know obviously it's stuff you wanted to say. So,
It's a movie about a fucking gang of skinheads.
oh
Like
Christ.
white nationalists, yeah, like full blown like neo Nazis.
Okay.
And they're fucking cosplaying them basically.
See, yeah, this is why I'm gonna be honest. When we watched the Pro Wrestling Bits video on AEW's like desperation, I'll be honest, part of me wanted to call him out and be like, look, I get that they have like the aesthetic low key, but they haven't really cut any promos or done anything. I mean, Gallus feels more like a white supremacist faction than these guys. And then you go and you tell me that, and I'm like, no, Alfred was right. Alfred was onto something. So yeah, there you go. Jesus fucking Christ. Whose idea was this?
It might have been Moxley's, but I don't know for sure.
That's concerning, man. That's yeah. Fuck. Okay. As long as they lose in the end, optics is everything. So I don't fucking know. But that's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think you know what, like I'm uncomfortable about it too, because like I know even in the indies there was controversy like a few years ago because there was a guy that really like literally had like a Nazi gimmick. And one of the other wrestlers I think on that show was like, you don't platform that shit, especially in this day and age when like far right factionalism is rising in the US and hell globally even. You don't platform that shit, you know? And so I'm kind of a similar mind only because we are in that day and age right now where like don't normalize the right.
Yeah.
In fact, Democrats are just starting to learn that on the bare fucking minimum with the weird shit. And now you want to go and you want to do a white supremacist inspired, like it's just fuck. Fuck. All right. Did we get any other questions? Oh yeah, Super Blue again, man. Super Blue, you are just coming in. How lame does Riley look for getting taken out and not being able to help Duke? Look, it was Riley Osborne. Being lame was like an innate property of his being. So I wasn't really fucking surprised. Um, any other questions?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what you expected there, Super Blue. It's like John said, it's Riley Osborne. There's no looking lame for Riley Osborne. He just is lame. That's just his default setting.
Yes.
That's just who he is, my friend. That's just who
What was he
he
gonna
is.
do? Step up to Rich Holland and be like, "Hey, you leave my friends alone." Yeah, I'd like to see that. All right, going once, going twice.
I'm stunned that Caster Sales wasn't around to ask a question.
I know this doesn't feel like a proper weekend review. Super Blue coming in. Will you live react to the NXT women's match on the CW debut? No, I just kind of wanted to enjoy it with you. I mean, that's really up to Ashton. I'm good with whatever he wants
No,
to
I
do.
agree. I agree.
Yeah, but
Just
I just
I'm just
wanted
gonna
to
enjoy
enjoy it
it.
with the homies. Yeah. Not everything needs to be commodified. We choose when we resist capitalism. All right. Any other questions?
I think we should
Going
close the
once.
door.
Close the door. Yep, sounds great. All right. I was going to do the countdown, but there you go. High spots and low shots. Low shot. Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Low shot solo. I mean, my God, dude. You had a straight up one on one matchup for the title. No shenanigans, which also benefited you because you didn't have to worry about Roman interfering. And Cody, fucking Cody, still beat you. Never would have happened to Sean. I keep saying he's ducking Sean just straight up. And then, as if it couldn't get any worse for you, now Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are on the same team just because they hate you that much, and you're getting outshined by Jacob Fatu. Get your fucking life together. So yeah, Solo Sikoa is my low shot.
Yeah, that's rough. Damn. I think my low shot's gonna be Bret Hart because you showed up in your own home country and got humiliated by Gunther and Bill Goldberg, who didn't even need to show up to humiliate you.
Damn, I'm surprised you went with credible people for a lot. You're like, hey, he's here. Sweet. Um, High spot. You know what? Keeping it purely to kayfabe, I'm gonna say my high spot is Andrade. Because even though I don't expect him to win the US title, he just got a US championship match winning this series with Mello and proving definitively that he is better than Carmelo, which I think is neat. So Andrade is going to be my high spot this week.
I love that because it also leaves me open to take Oba Femi as my high spot because let's be real, Hammerstone was supposed to be a hired gun, man. Tony paid him to try and take out Oba, and how'd that work out for you there, Tony?
I would say not well. So there you go.
Yeah,
All right,
maybe
guys.
hire better next time. Maybe you get what you pay for.
Wow. I couldn't help but notice a little bit of tone there. Maybe relax.
Maybe it
But
was earned.
fine, you fuck with the mob. I didn't have anything to do with this. All right. With that being said, this has been the Weekend Review and TwitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I am John. That's my court and commentary action. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TwitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And we will see you guys again, possibly Tuesday for Monte Gold or
Oh, we have a Monty
Wednesday.
Gold show that we could do anytime right now. Like literally, if you wanted to do it tomorrow, if you wanted to do it Monday, it's literally up right now.
Well, I mean, Sundays are our free day, so let's try for Monday. How long should we do 5 just so that we make sure that we don't cross paths with Raw, or would we get away with 6?
Why don't I pull it up and find out? The whole show is only 2 hours and 54 seconds.
Okay,
And the main event is Sakurai versus Bozilla. And the semi main event is Nane versus Tanaka.
we'll see you at 6. I feel like we can get away with 6 in that case. Yeah.
Hell yeah, we can.
So Monday at 6, we'll be doing Monte Gold, and I'm just gonna assume Thursday just be Stardom recap,
Yep.
because we skipped it this week just because it was mid. And then yeah, if you're just here for weekend review because you're just like, listen, I don't really give a shit about Joshi wrestling. Just tell me about WWE and occasionally AEW if I decide to give a shit. And you can just meet us back here Saturday at 10:30. And I do also want to remind people that are still here that Q&A is this month. So get your questions, and if you
Oh,
haven't,
yeah, that's right. It's like not this coming Thursday, but the following Thursday, isn't it?
exactly. Yeah, it's September 26th.
Jeez.
Should be interesting. It feels like forever since we've done a Q&A, so I guess we are due. So there you go. But yeah, that's all for this week, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. I don't know if any good Sunday night football games are happening or whatever the fuck. Just have a good rest of your weekend. Be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in. And peace out.